Out with the old? Really? Some of the popular channels are full of criticism about some established risk management methodology. Out with the old certainly is warranted in some cases. Having said that, an improperly used innovation is no replacement for an outdated method either. If you scroll through ERM-related posts on, for instance, LinkedIn, you will find posts that label certain ERM methods as backward-looking, ancient methodology, not fit for the purpose, provides a false sense of security, and other similar type of descriptions. I do agree with some of these statements at prima facie. However, I want to take a closer look as to whether this methodology is not fit for the purpose, or whether there are other reasons why the desired outcomes eluded the practitioners. As an example, we look at the ubiquitous risk matrix plots. They are well known and very intuitive to grasp and understand. Everybody has a view, albeit a rather subjective one, about the meaning of, for instance, the x-axis, negligible and severe. They're apparently easy to grasp and help stakeholder engagement. These plots make for a relatively visually appealing element in any presentation. And lastly, a condensed multicolored plot likely supports your storytelling much better than, for instance, an endlessly long convoluted table. Hence, for an organization at an initial stage of risk maturity, such plots might be a way to engage the audience. And you heard the emphasis on the might be. However, these advantages that I just listened are spilled and spoiled when and if I've seen many cases in which individual risks are plotted as tiny dots on such a matrix. This gives the impression that the quantification is precise. Furthermore, a tiny dot also implies little to no volatility, which in today's VUCA world provides a very false sense of security. And lastly, what does a statement like severe really mean? Without a number next to it, not much actually. The question then is the methodology at fault, or is it that the users are not aware of these inherent shortcomings, or maybe just overlook and ignore them? In other words, the method might well be suited for a purpose, but it gets misused. In the case of these risk matrix plots, I'd say it often is the latter. The method serves a purpose, serves it very well, but likely only at initial stages of a risk maturity journey of an organization. Or as one of my early masters used to say very pointedly, a fool with a tool is still a fool. So back to a risk matrix plots. In other words, knowing how to populate, present and interpret a risk matrix plot is a good skill, a needed skill. On the other hand, drawing the wrong conclusions of an apparent simple, pointy, multicolored graph is likely to do more damage than good. Therefore, a more risk-mature organization should use a more dynamic method to visualize its risk landscape. Over the past few minutes, I elaborated why it is important to know the advantages and the shortcomings of any methodology that we use in our daily risk professional's life. After all, the famous PACE principle guides us. No method is perfect. Crucially, we must know when to use which approach and also be clear, probably clearer, in our communication with all our stakeholders, different stakeholders, why you have chosen an approach and what the advantages and possible shortcomings of the chosen path are. Then, only then, we do a good job as risk leaders. Dear listeners, thank you very much for staying with me during the past few minutes. More videos of our ERM Knowledge series are on Megrow's YouTube channel. Head over, listen, watch and subscribe to the channel to receive automatic updates. In the meantime, enjoy whatever you're doing, stay safe and stay tuned for our next episode, which I plan to release in about 4 weeks from now.